Good morning, everybody. This is our regular Tuesday, May 19th meeting of the Mason County Commission. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Vicki Kirkpatrick, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Honor, thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I am here.
Commissioner District 2, Tim Sheldon.
Here as well.
Commissioner District 3, Karen Jeffrey.
Here.
Item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Do we have any correspondence come before the commission?
Yes, we do. The Washington State Liquor Control Board sent special occasion applications for Mason County Senior Activities Association and Harsking Island Community Club and liquor license application for Union City Market.
Excellent. Item number 4.2, which is the news release, summer 2015 Mason County Heritage Grant Cycle. Staff, Michael McSims.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to read this news release. The Mason County Commissioners and the Mason County Historic Preservation Commission are pleased to announce that applications are being accepted for the summer of 2015 Mason County Heritage Grant Cycle. On behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, the Mason County Historic Preservation Commission administers the Mason County Heritage Grant Program to assist projects that promote the public's access to county history. The program is funded with a portion of document recording fees collected by the Mason County Auditor. The allocation of these fees for projects that promote historical preservation or historical programs which may include the preservation of historic documents is authorized under RCW 3622-170. The revenues accrued to a dedicated fund and may not be used for any purpose other than those stipulated by the statute. Grants in the amounts up to $5,000 may be awarded to qualified organizations for professional development, public education, small capital projects, collections management, heritage investigations, and historic preservation. This is a reimbursement grant. It is very important that organizations considering application for this grant read the grant guidelines and other details on the Mason County website. Grant proposals may be mailed to the Mason County Historic Preservation Commission, 426 West Cedar Street, Shelton, Washington, and postmarked no later than June 30th, 2015. Applications may be hand-delivered to 426 West Cedar Street, Shelton, Washington, no later than 3 p.m. on June 30th, 2015. Questions should be directed to Michael McSims at 427-9670, extension 571. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 4.3, which is a news release, National Healthy and Safe Swimming Week. Staff, Allie Perlani.
Morning, Commissioners. Morning, everyone. On behalf of Mason County Public Health and Human Services, I wanted to just introduce this week, National Healthy and Safe Swimming Week. Mason County is an expert in water with nearly 100 lakes, hundreds of miles of shoreline, and local industries supported by oyster and seafood production. The community is right at home in this natural environment. The week before Memorial Day is designated as National Healthy and Safe Swimming Week, formerly known as Recreational Water Illness and Injury Prevention Week. This will be the 11th year that the nation comes together to learn simple ways that swimmers and pool operators can help ensure a healthy and safe swimming experience for everyone. This year's theme is Make a Healthy Splash. Share the fun, not the germs. May 18th to the 24th, 2015 is a chance to celebrate Mason County's natural landscape and learn about the role that swimmers, beach staff, pool owners, and public health officials all have in helping to prevent drowning, pool chemical injuries, and outbreaks of recreational water illnesses. As a swimmer, there are easy ways that we can actively help keep ourselves safe, protect other swimmers, and reduce the risk of drowning. First, you can prepare by making sure that everyone knows how to swim and that other children, older children, and adults know CPR. When we're in the water, keep swimmers safe by using properly fitted life jackets for younger or weaker swimmers, providing continuous supervision close to swimmers, and avoiding alcohol and other drugs when swimming or supervising swimmers. When we're not in the water, we can prevent access to the water by installing and maintaining barriers for pools, particularly, and weight-bearing covers, and using locks or alarms for windows and doors. Recreational water illnesses are caused by germs spread by having contact with contaminated water and swimming pools, hot tubs, water parks, lakes, and oceans. Recreational water illnesses can also be caused by chemicals in the water or chemicals that evaporate from the water, causing indoor air quality problems. The most common recreational water illness is diarrhea and can be caused by germs like Giardia, norovirus, and E. coli. As a swimmer, there are also easy ways that we can help reduce the spread of RWIs. Don't swim when you have diarrhea, as this can spread germs in the water and make others sick. Don't swallow pool water and avoid getting water from pools or natural sources in your mouth. Practice good hygiene. Shower with soap before swimming. Wash your hands after using the toilet or changing diapers, as germs on your body end up in the water. And parents of young children should remember to wash their children before swimming, check diapers every 30 to 60 minutes, and change diapers in a bathroom or diaper changing area instead of by the water, and take kids to the bathroom every 30 to 60 minutes. So with warm weather coming quickly, Healthy and Safe Swimming Week is a chance to learn how we can all do our part to ensure our community has a safe, healthy, and fun summer. By keeping these tips in mind, we can all be sure to enjoy some of the best summer activities that Mason County has to offer. For more information about healthy swimming, visit the Center for Disease Control's Healthy Swimming website at www.cdc.gov/healthyswimming. For more information on recreational water quality and safety here in Mason County, contact Mason County Public Health and Human Services at 427-9670 extension 400, 275-4467 from Belfair, or 482-5269 from Elma. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other correspondence or additional business come before this body? We will move on to item number 5. Item number 5 is open forum for citizens' input. This is your opportunity to speak to the commission and the community in regards to an item or any item that is not on the agenda. If it is on the agenda, we ask that you wait and till at which time it comes up, and it'll be, you can have it taken off and you can actually have the time to testify at that time or ask questions. With that being said, if it is not on the agenda, you'll be given up to 5 minutes per person to speak, but there's a 15-minute time limit for everybody, so please be brief. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak on any item that is not on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 6, adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
It has been moved and seconded for the adoption of the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, the motion carries. Item number 7, approval of the minutes, April 13, 2015 briefing minutes and the May 12, 2015 regular meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move the Board of County Commissioners approve the briefing minutes from April 13th and the regular meeting minutes from May 12th, 2015.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to adopt the minutes as presented, April 13th briefing minutes, April 12th regular meeting minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, the motion carries. Item number 8 is the approval of the action agenda. All items on the action agenda will be voted on with one vote. After we read it to the public, you'll be given an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have in regards to any of the items to help you decide whether to take it off for a separate vote. If you as the public or the commission decides to have it taken off for a separate vote, you'll be given an opportunity to testify at that time or to ask any other questions that may help you to decide whether we should be in favor of it. With that being said, I will go ahead and read items number 8.1 through 8.3. Commissioner Sheldon, if you will read 8.4 through 8.6, and Commissioner Jeffries, 8.7 through 8.10. 8.1, continued from May 5th, 2015. Approval to enter into a contract with Smart Meme Studios for the work on Phase 1 with option to proceed to Phase 2. Phase 1 is if Phase 1 is successful. Smart Meme Studios will assist Parks Advisory Board and staff with the development of an Adopt a Park program, and this program will be funded by a successful Kickstarter campaign. Item number 8.2, approval for the chair to sign real estate price reduction sheets for 2 surplus properties located at East Angle Tract Lane and one located at 11950 State Route 106 in Union, currently being marketed for sale by Mason County. Item number 8.3, approval of the Veterans Assistance Fund applications for food, $150, Utilities, $994.23, and housing, $600, for a total of $1,744.23, as recommended by the Veterans Service Office.
Mr. Chairman, 8.4 is approval of warrants, claims clearing fund warrant numbers 802-3099 through 802-3388 in the amount of $665,261.71. Salary clearing fund warrant numbers 700-1024 through 700-1063 in the amount of $820,531.72, and direct deposit fund warrant numbers 22093 through 22477 in the amount of $556,087.42, and that's a grand total of $2,041,880.85. Claims, to make that clear though, I think that's year-to-date.
No.
No, that's the total of the three above, I'm sorry. Claims clearing year-to-date total, now we are at $12,289,741.96. Salary clearing year-to-date total was $6,222,686.21, and the direct deposit year-to-date total is $5,896,502.01. 8.5, approval of the resolution appointing the budget manager as the Mason County property manager pursuant to Mason County Code Chapter 3.40.260. And 8.6, approval of the board to authorize the county engineer to sign the maintenance agreement, along with any agreed upon amendments or modifications to the agreement, for the Port of Allen's sidewalk improvement project titled East Lakeland Drive Sidewalk Improvements along Lakeland Drive, County Road number 67500, within the county right-of-way.
Item 8.7, approval for the Board of County Commissioners to appoint the following applicants to the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, the SWAC: Eric Nelson, Janet O'Connor, Jason Does, Rick Frederickson, and Delroy Cox. 8.8, approval for the board to authorize the county engineer to execute the interlocal agreement between PUD 3 and Mason County on future ownership, retrofit, operation, maintenance, and replacement of the county's existing street light poles that were used as solar street lighting fixtures. 8.9, approval for the board to authorize the Public Works Director to sign supplement number 7 for KBA Construction Management Incorporated for their service on the Belfar Water Reclamation Construction Project claim resolution process. Finally, 8.10, approval for the chair to sign the Associate Development Organization Certification / Designation Form designating the Mason County Economic Development Council as the Associate Development Organization, ADO, to coordinate economic development services for Mason County under contract with the Washington State Department of Commerce. This is pursuant to RCW 43-330-080, .330.080, and this is for the 2015-2017 biennium.
Thank you. With that being read into the record, is there anybody that has any questions on any of the items that would help them to decide whether or not to take it off for a separate vote? Hearing none, is there any items they would like taken off for a separate vote?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to have number 8.1 voted on separately.
I would like 8.7 for a separate vote. Is there any other items that we'd like taken off for a separate vote?
No.
I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd move that the Board of County Commissioners approve items 8.2 through 8.6 and 8.8 through 8.10 on today's action agenda.
I'll second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded for the passage of the action agenda, 8.2 through 8.6, 8.8 through 8.10. We are excluding item number 8.1 and 8.7, which will be taken off for a separate vote. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Well, I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, and perhaps you want discussion after that.
Oh, we have a motion, and we have a second. Did I miss it?
No, we haven't voted.
Yeah. So any further discussion? The motion was to pass 8.2 through 8.6 and 8.8 through 8.10, the exclusion of 8.7 and 8.1. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, the motion carries. Item number 8.1, continued from May 5th, 2015, approval to enter into a contract with Smart Meme Studios for the work on Phase 1 with the option to proceed to Phase 2. If Phase 1 is successful, Smart Meme Studios will assist Parks Advisory Board and staff with the development of an Adopt a Park program, and this program will be funded by a successful Kickstarter program. Bill Kenny, would you like to take this one?
Yes, thank you, Commissioners, members of the public. As the Commission knows and needs to be acknowledged, we have an extremely dedicated group in our Parks Advisory Group. They continuously look for opportunities to improve the Mason County parks. We have many projects going on with their good help, and this was proposed as one of them. We have come to a point where we recognize with the economy of the county, the recent news, the Save the Pool effort and so forth, there's only so many community fundraising activities one can conduct at one point in time. We have a couple of very important ones that are pending right now in the field 6 and 7. We hope to make some significant improvements up there. Last week, the Commission heard a proposal by the Trust for Public Lands to take a look at establishing a survey to ask our citizens what their priorities are around parks and some other funding options and challenges. So at this point, we're recommending that we set this specific proposal aside. We will bring back to you later a modified proposal. This recommendation has nothing to do with the value and worth of an Adopt a Park program. We still strongly believe in that, and it has more to do with timing and finding the exact vehicle to make the Adopt a Park program work the best for the citizens of Mason County. So we would ask that you set this aside at this point, pending some additional thinking from both staff and our Parks Advisory Board.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the staff working, and we've had some discussions trying to work towards this Adopt a Park program. And with that information out there, I would move that we not enter into the contract.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'd like to, before we have a motion, you can second it though, or you can just hold off for a minute. It'll die for like a second. We think we should give the opportunity for
I agree.
the public. Oh, sure. Okay, sure. Okay, any further questions for staff? Just to clarify, right now what we're saying though is your recommendation is to hold off on this. You found that there's some issues when it comes to the state auditor, state treasurer, and everybody else to make sure that things are done completely correct. And
yes, and the other thing I wanted to mention is we're working with the Parks Advisory Board. There's a group that is talking about forming a 501c3, and that'll take a little bit of work, but this would become a vehicle by which we could accept donations on behalf of the parks. So we greatly appreciate the citizen involvement and the proactive nature of this, but this is one of those ways in which we can figure out how to do it properly and legally.
is there anybody in the public that has any questions for staff? Is there anybody in the public who would like to testify or speak at this time? Okay, hearing none, Commissioners, there's two ways we can do it. We can have a motion and have it die through motion, or we can not have a motion and have it die for lack of a motion. This way it makes it easier to bring up if it comes up in the future.
Well, I would move that we not enter into this contract 8.1.
I would second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to not enter into this contract. I have to read it though. Continued from May 5th, 2015, not entered into a contract and not approved with Smart Meme Studios for the work on Phase 1 with option to proceed to Phase 2 of Phase One is successful. Smart Mean Studios would have assisted Parks Advisory Board and staff with the development of a Dr. Park program. This program would be funded by Kickstarter, successful Kickstarter campaign. Any discussion?
I would like to, very first and foremost, thank the Parks Advisory Board for this thinking outside the box. I've lauded them from this position here on this particular issue and others, but this one I'm very impressed with, and I think it's very creative. I want to thank Smart Mean Studios for responding to the very different RFP and your courage and your willingness to go out there and do work with the potential of not being paid. And then I just wanted to share that this was very creative. I think there is a place for this type of fundraising in county government. Unfortunately, this is too far ahead of our fiscal transparency and accountability systems that are in place at the state levels and everything else. And there'll be a point, I think, that these things will catch up. But I agree that probably the best vehicle for this type of fundraising might be through a nonprofit as opposed to a county government until we get clarity throughout the state that this type of thing can be done at the county level. It's very telling that I've heard from Park Advisory Board members and from our former Director of Parks that there are other counties that are looking at this, but there are very few counties that are willing to step out and be the one that started this first, because you're not told no, you're just told give it a shot and then we'll come get you if you did it wrong. So, you know, as much as we would like to be, we are somewhat cautious, and so backing off and coming up with a way that is making a lot of folks happy, I think is the best approach.
Other comments?
I think, thank you, Commissioner Jeffries expressed many of my sentiments as well, so we'll move on. And I think a nonprofit 501c3 really would meet all the criteria that the state would have as well.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, the motion carries, and the contract is not entered into. Item number 8.7, approval for the Board of County Commissioners to appoint the following applicants to the Solid Waste Advisory Committee. SWAC, Eric Nelson, Janet O'Connor, Jason Dose, Rick Fredrickson, and Delroy Cox. Erica, would you like to speak on it for half a second and just tell people what it is? And I have a request if I can ask the Commission.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, members of the public. The Mason County has been tasked by the state by regulations to form a solid waste advisory committee to provide information and evaluate the activities surrounding solid waste management within the county limits of Mason County. And the requirements are the committee consists of at least 9 members and may have a maximum of 15 members. At this point, we had received several applications from members from the public, as well as from local industry pertaining to solid waste management and governmental agencies like the City of Shelton. These members and applications have been presented to the Commission. The Commission conducted interviews last week on the members listed here on our agenda, and at this point, we are hoping to receive approval to appoint these members to our Solid Waste Advisory Committee.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff? Hearing none,
Just one question. So you have 4 other members already, or
Yes,
you said you need 9 to 15? So.
At this point, if all of these members get approved, it would get us up to a number of 11.
Are they staggered terms on them?
Yes, the appointment is a 3-year appointment. We have several members that actually, not the members, whose membership will be, or appointment will expire throughout this year as well.
I thought it put us up one more than that because Commissioner Sheldon was not on the list.
May I consult? Currently, we have a member from district, member of the public of district number 1, a member of the public of district number 2, a member of the public for district number 3, a member of the Squaxin tribe, and Commissioner Tim Sheldon is considered a member of the SWAC as well.
Because I
And
represent that district.
because you represent Mason County. And then at this point, we are asking the appointment of 5 additional members, so that would get us up to 10 then.
So, any further?
And I would like to also advise you that one of our members, David Miner, the representative of the public for District Number 2, his appointment actually expires in July, so just around the corner.
So what I would like to ask the commission, if you would indulge me, is perhaps a motion to approve all but one, so I can have a discussion on one that I have concerns on. And the only one I have concerns on is Delroy Cox.
I think we should probably at least wait and see if there's any testimony from the public prior to.
Well, I thought I asked. Is there any testimony?
We asked for our questions.
No. Any testimony? Hearing none? Okay.
Mr. Chair, I would move that we approve, the Board of County Commissioners approve the appointment to the Solid Waste Advisory Committee of Eric Nelson, Janet O'Connor, Jason Dose, and Rick Frederickson.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded for the approval to appoint the following applicants to the Solid Waste Advisory Committee: Eric Nelson, Janet O'Connor, Jason Dose, and Rick Frederickson. Any discussion?
Just that these are great candidates. We had the opportunity to interview all of them except for Jason Dose, whose application came in late, but given his position with the City of Shelton, I think that that's the most appropriate without having done the interview. So I'm very impressed with these folks.
I think we've been asked for push on that.
We asked it, yeah.
I too found them to be very impressive. It was actually a pretty doggone good and educational event for a commissioner. Yeah, you'd think how exciting can it be, but there's a lot of information that we picked up.
Yeah, I think they've been on the board for a long time.
Janet O'Connor has, Rick Frederickson has, and Jason Dose, I don't know if it's officially appointed or if he just attended in the past.
Okay, any further questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. If you don't mind, I'll just jump right into, well, you're probably going to want to make a motion to...
Yeah, I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that
No?
Delroy Cox be appointed to the Solid Waste Advisory Committee.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded for the approval of Delroy Cox to be appointed to the Solid Waste Advisory Committee. Discussion? I have one.
Would you like to lead?
The problem that I have is this gentleman, although very educated, very, very good. I was extremely impressed. But sometimes the dangers of conflict of interest and having other purposes come into play. And this one, in my opinion, the risk is just way too great. This is a gentleman that represents JDL Consulting, who represents the people that we have contracts with, but even more than that, this is a person that is in a sense a professional for representing on these boards, for these contracts, in my opinion. This person serves currently on the SWAC for is it Grace Harbor and Thurston County as well. Now, that's great when you're a consultant to serve on those boards and could perhaps have an impact on how these things are written, how these regulations are brought up, how it could be favorable. I just didn't want to take a chance on appointing somebody that got that much baggage on this, in my opinion. And with that being said, that was why I was asking for it to be taken off for a separate vote, because I believe it's even more than an appearance of conflict. It's a direct conflict. Further discussion?
Well, I think that there's enough safeguards built into the system to prevent an over-influence of one SWAC member among a board, especially this size. Mr. Cox's experience of having served in both of those other counties brings valuable information and process options and ideas to our SWAC, and this SWAC will be very important because they are going to be renewing our long-term solid waste plan, and I think that information and that experience will be absolutely valuable as we move forward, because there's a lot of major changes that need to happen, and I'm comfortable that we have enough safeguards to prevent over-influence from a personal basis. I know that there's the appearance of conflict, but it is incumbent upon the advisory committee members themselves to guard against that, or to make sure that there's the appearance of fairness.
Well, I would agree. I think Mr. Cox has brought a lot to the table when he comes for the meetings. As Commissioner Jeffrey said, we have 11 members now on the board. So also Rick Fredersen, known Rick a long time. He's worked for Mason County Garbage. There are people. He does work for Mason County Garbage, and so there are people there that have knowledge of the industry. I think that's what we want. We want talented people. I don't see that there would be a conflict with Mr. Cox, and I think he, as I say, brings a lot of information and history to the meetings.
Any further discussion?
I'd like to make a motion.
I thought we already did.
Oh.
I already have a motion and a second on the floor.
Yeah, and
For the-
I just add this too, if I could. Mr. Dose, now Jason works for the city of Shelton. The city of Shelton, we work very closely with the city of Shelton in handling our solid waste. I don't think that he has a particular axe to grind there either. I think he brings that expertise. So we have people that are in the industry here on the board. I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's dominated by those people that are in the industry at all, but I think I value their advice and knowledge.
Well, I do value their advice and knowledge, and I was aware of the one gentleman found him to be very credible, didn't find any issue with that. I just had the issue with the one, and again, as he puts out himself, he's a consultant for Waste Connections Incorporated, all by itself. Aside from being their consultant, and he serves currently as a member on the Grace Harbor and Thurston County Solid Waste. And at some point, I believe there was an issue, and I still do. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Aye. The motion carries. He is appointed. And we made it to the 9:30 mark. So next up is our public hearing. It's the public hearing to consider the request from Mason County Facilities and Parks to declare certain Mason County-owned tax title property as surplus property. Staff, Frank Pinter.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have 5 parcels that we're looking to put on the surplus list. They're parcels number 22017-53-00046 in Timberlakes, 22213-11-00020 on near Razor Road, 31904-53-00066 at Fawn Lake, 32122-50-00027 at Lake Limerick, and the final 51908-50-00100 at Star Lake. All 5 are proposed to go to the surplus property list.
So public have any questions for staff? Hearing none, Commissioner, if you have any questions for staff? Thank you, staff.
Thank you.
Is there anybody who would like to testify at this time?
Just one comment. I guess they're all on a lake. So
It's Mason County.
no, excuse me. I guess the Razor Road property is not. So if you're looking for lakefront property, we got 4 deals.
Are these actually lakefront, or
I
they're
don't
just in
think
the
so, no.
communities? I think
Are
they're
they
just in the
Yeah,
communities.
just in the communities.
They're just in the. Well, it sounds like that.
These are fabulous communities.
Fabulous communities.
Well,
with,
and the other one's called
the lake of-
Lakewood.
The lake very, very close and accessible.
And I'll bet you that one on Razor Road in Lakewood, I'll bet you that's lakefront. Just a very small wetland lake. Knowing that properties. Is there any comments or anything from the public? Hearing none, I will, any commissioner deliberation?
Well, I think, Mr. Chairman, I think this is a standard procedure to put them out and see if the public hopefully the public is interested, and we'll get it back on the tax roll.
We sure have been doing good with moving them. I spent a lot of time down there at that escrow office signing away those properties, putting them back on the tax roll. I like it.
And again, these are fabulous communities, so they should move along. And we through discussion determined that there wasn't a use for these properties for the county, so it's appropriate to put them up. So I would move that we adopt a resolution declaring the following parcels as surplus property and offer them for sale as authorized by Mason County Code Chapter 3.40. 22017-53-00046, lot in Timberlakes. 22213-11-00020, land near Razor Road, Lakewood Plat. 31904-53-00066, lot at Fawn Lake. 32122-50-00027, lot at Lake Limerick. And finally 51908-50-00100, a lot at Star Lake.
And I'll second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded for the adoption of the resolution declaring the following parcels as surplus property and offer them for sale as authorized by Mason County Code Chapter 3.40. Parcels number 22017-53-00046, which is a lot on Timber Lakes. Parcel number 22213-11-00020, which is land near Razor Road in the Lakewood Plat. Parcel number 31904-53-00066, which is a lot out at Fawn Lake. And parcel number 32122-50-00027, a lot at Lake Limerick. And finally, lot number 51908-50-00100, a lot at Star Lake. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. It carries. Public hearing is closed. We have no further public hearings to come before this body, so we'll move on to item number 10, which is other business, department heads and elected officials. Are there any department heads who would like to speak at this time? Any elected officials who would like to speak at this time? Hearing none, we will move on to our board reports and calendars. Who would like to go first?
I'll be happy to. Last week, on May 12th, following our commission meeting, I attended a MASCOM meeting. We'll be entering the budget development process for next year's budget, and I have volunteered to be on a special subcommittee regarding rates, trying to keep those rates affordable. A number of calls have gone down, interestingly, which is effect, since we pay per call, it affects, of course, the operations, so we need to come up with some good ideas to keep those rates down and celebrate the fact that our number of calls have gone up or down. Had a meeting of the Criminal Justice Working Team. This group is working right now on we adopted a vision and statement, and they will now are broken up into subcommittees working on some strategies under and I think 6 different disciplines in our criminal justice system, and each of those disciplines is those subcommittees is headed by say the agency head. For instance, prosecution, the prosecutors on the prosecution and defense with our public defender. Had a meeting with some relocation specialists about some opportunities and some work they want to do to help folks at Simpson and OPP. Met with Scott Brewer from Hood Canal Coordinating Council and staff regarding our regional support network contracts. They're going to need to have some amendments to them for a mentally ill offender program, so that'll be coming forward to us in a briefing. Presented to the Mason County Association of Realtors about the TPL presentation we received, and then over the weekend volunteered my 5th or 6th year for the oyster, clam, gooey deck, mussel seed sale to the public of Taylor Shellfish. Very pleased to see members of our environmental health staff there, and just want to share, it's amazing each year the crowds get bigger. They were double what they were last year, the customers, and we had probably half the inventory. So getting seed supply is getting to be harder and harder, though we did have Olympia oyster seed available, which hasn't been for quite some years. Very pleased to see, like I said, the Environmental Health Department represented there, because I even forwarded, had some questions. People were saying, why are septic people here? And so it gave me an opportunity to talk about the tie-in between septics and oyster growing. This afternoon, we had briefings yesterday. This afternoon, I'll be attending the Senior Services for South Sound fundraiser for Meals on Wheels program. We have a Mason Transit Authority meeting this evening, and this afternoon we have a Skoke Flood Control Board meeting after this meeting, and a briefing with Community Development. We're meeting with John Walsh, who's the Director of the Community Action Council, and about some of the services they have available and how they're expanding their services here in Mason County. And then Hood Canal Coordinating Council meeting, and Habitat for Humanity Board meeting, and then meeting with some folks that do youth services at the end of the week. And back here, we have a holiday on Monday, so we don't come back until our evening meeting next Tuesday. On the Board of Health, thank you. My calendar.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. After our meeting last week on the 12th, I had a meeting with the Olympic Region Clean Air Agency on Wednesday. There's a couple issues that we're dealing with, in particularly in Thurston County right now, on burn bans. The State Parks group met in Cle Elum on Thursday, the 14th. I wasn't not able to attend, but I think Mike Glazier was able to attend the meeting. I talked to him before he went over there. I had several discussions, as the other commissioners have had too, with the city officials, with EDC, Sierra Pacific, Green Diamond, and others about our situation here in Shelton, which is, I think, coming together with the state agencies and groups, workforce groups that are working very hard. I was kind of pleased to hear an advertisement on the radio from, I think it was one of the local element or something, but the local auto parts stores that said that if you've been laid off on this at this time, come on in and we'll give you 10% off on parts. So it was nice that the local people are recognizing that there's going to be a lot of difficulty with the normal purchases that people make every day. I did investigate a little bit one of the permits. We get a list of permits every month that our Community Development Department is working on, and one is especially notable to me. It's out on Hood Canal, the north end of Hood Canal, the north end of our county on the west side, for seafood processing. It's an older building that's been there for quite a while, about 3,900 square feet. So I haven't talked to them personally yet, but pass that on to the Economic Development Council and others, so we may be seeing some more processing in our county, which would be great. We had our briefings yesterday, and then I was over at Taylor Shellfish, met with them and the Trust for Public Lands, talk about a piece of property that's a part of the capital budget request, and that piece of property is owned by Fort Blakely, out along the Little Scoopum Inlet. Look at that. The meeting today, I've got a meeting this afternoon, an Olympia hearing, and then there's a Mason Transit meeting today at 4 o'clock. I don't know that I'll be back for that. Mr. Chairman, are you going to be?
Yes.
Right, okay. That'd be great. We have another, I have another meeting in Olympia tomorrow. A meeting with the Squaxin Tribe at 10, and let's see, as well on Thursday we've got meetings in Olympia, a couple of hearings, and I don't know about Friday, and then we'll be back here on Monday for briefings, and Tuesday night's meeting hopefully. Thank you.
Yeah, as maybe you know, right after we left our meeting, I was on my way to catch a plane, and this is going to show how sick I am while I'm on vacation. I can't help myself. On the way to the plane, I had a one-on-one executive session with our prosecuting attorney for the litigation issues. I ended up with conversations and things going between Representative Griffey, Representative McEwen, and the EDC were trying to find money for operating the steam plant so we can continue employment at OPP for the offside. And I did not contact you, the reason why, not because I was slightly, I wanted to, believe me, but I didn't want to do that without, because I didn't declare it or nothing that we was working, so I just left that out, but hopefully we can find 400,000, and I know how hard that is. I met with a member of the Sewer Advisory Committee on the way through. During my time gone, I also had a conference call with Derek Kilmer's people in regards to some of the issues that we're facing right now, and I had a North Mesa Community Voice meeting when I first just got off the plane, and I spoke and dealt with Representative Griffey on other issues for constituents out here, and I think he contacted you when it came to the gentleman being bit 5 times, and like he said he was going to contact you. So
I left a message, but
we talked, and I had some.
Just to interrupt you, I had a constituent issue too on Ellis Hill Road.
Yes, that's the same one. So
And I wrote down his information and gave it to Under Sheriff Barrett yesterday.
well, good deal.
So I haven't heard back yet if there's any resolutions.
Okay. And then I spent an hour with a contractor vendor with some of our road products, trying to overcome some issues. We have some great staff. I made some phone calls, and they're open to looking at ways that could save us money on how we do it in the future. Had some more issues while I was down there with constituents when it comes to crime. I had a conversation with Chief Sperling, and he has made arrangements where we will get together and actually going to drive the communities and look at some of the best ways to do it from a local level. Sometimes the best way is just actually to drive the roads, look at some of the things and see what can be done about that one and that one. He's actually agreed to do that, and I really appreciate that. 2 different times I had to go over the contracts for the options for the Hood Canal Coordinating Council for the purchasing of that property, purchase of that option. I had a conference call with the Alliance of the Healthy South Sound, and then starts what I'm going to do next week. That was when I was on vacation. So we have our scope flood management board here. We have a meeting with the Simpson. What do you want to call that? The coordination of all the Simpson. Do you have that on your calendar?
I didn't write it down, but I'm
Okay.
sure I'll be there as well. When is that?
I had it in my calendar, and I hope it's right. I don't know.
I have it in my notes, but I forgot to put it
I
on.
have tomorrow morning at 8:30.
And what's the meeting
All the people, the EDC,
Oh.
Pac Mountain,
Okay.
state agencies, unions, and the participants, Simpson, like showing up. We're trying to figure out things to do and pulling all of our specialties together to try and make things
I
happen.
understand what meeting you're talking about. So
PUD?
That's what I had, but they did say at the time that it will be announced. Then I also have a meeting with a constituent in regards to Ridge Motorsports and the noise, shortly after the scope meeting. And then I have, I'm gonna finally do, I'm a big supporter of Turning Point as it is, but I'll be going there for a walk around. It was highly recommended. Commissioner Jeffries, you had done it, and see, then we have Hood Canal Coordinating Council. I also have the Unforgotten Run. I did that last year. It was my first motorcycle run I ever did, where we took the gentleman who played Abe Lincoln's ashes to the
Oh, yes.
cemetery. And, you know, it's hard to drive a motorcycle. You have tears in your eyes, and you're watching those kids on the side of the road waving at you, and people crying, and it's pretty impressive. But I'm going to bring my oldest son because he's already probably too big to ride in the back of my bike, but this will be his last opportunity. We just measured him. He's 12 years old. He's 5'9", 180 pounds. 5'9.5", excuse me. Legislative Steering Committee conference call for the Association of Counties, Mason Transit Authority. We have our Board of Health meeting, and then our briefings, and that, there is no briefings for that Monday, so that's gone.
Mr. Chair, let me make a suggestion and see if you folks concur. Since we are done a little bit early, whether you would agree to move our briefing with community development up to immediately following this meeting? And then make sure we'll be done by 10:30 for this.
We're not doing, just for the public, we're not doing that as action, we're just talking as commission discussions right now. And I have no problem with that.
Okay. And then Barbara doesn't have to go back and come back.
I didn't bring my stuff,
She
but
didn't bring
okay.
stuff. Okay,
That would be fun. Just a couple of calendar items. Just forgot what I was going to just mention. Oh, you mentioned Turning Point, Mr. Chairman. I did receive an email from them about property taxes and an issue with the department. I think it was with property taxes, Department of Revenue issue. But our office did respond to that, but I didn't hear back from them. So,
yeah, I don't know anything about it.
They didn't share that
so if
with
that
me.
issue comes up, we'd be happy to try to help
Okay.
with that. And then the last thing I had is, this is just an oddball deal, but when I was driving in today, on the radio was I think it was a national report. It was not a local report, but it talked about parks and recreation, and they did a comparison of large cities across the United States, and said that in Washington D.C. they spend, I think, $287 per citizen on parks and recreation, and the lowest was Indianapolis, Indiana, where they spent $54 per person. And that just gave me the idea that maybe it'd be interesting to see, because we've been focusing on Parks and Rec here for the last couple of weeks, but to see what we spend per citizen and just try to baseline that, and then as time goes on, life goes on, it'd be interesting to know. I don't know what you could include in there. We spend, obviously we spend maintenance and operations, and then we have staff and those things, but we also have, I think, around 22 parks. But we acquire land and do quite a few different things. But it might be interesting just to know, to have a baseline and be able to compare it to other times later on.
I think that probably it would make sense to separate capital development
Yeah.
and operations and maintenance.
Operations. Be interesting to know what we spend. Now that we know that we're not going to spend $287 per citizen, but we'll see.
That is interesting.
All right, anything further to come before this commission? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned. Have a great day, everybody.